HIIT training, talking all about it in this video because I had mentioned it a few videos back as one of the most effective ways to burn fat and get fit faster. So I saw in the comments that you guys had a bunch of questions and I thought I would do a separate video on it. I even wore this like little zippy outfit because I thought it connotated intensity. All right, I don't know what's wrong with me today. Moving forward, HIIT training, high intensity interval training. Now, there are a lot of different ways to do this, and these are the ways that I find it to be the most effective and the ways that I incorporate it into the programs I create for myself and for you guys. So I take exercises that are traditionally associated with cardiovascular exercise. Wind sprints, row machines, stationary bikes, stairs, jump roping, butt kicks, high knees, jumping jacks, burpees, things of that nature. So I don't personally utilize strength training exercises for a HIIT workout. Doesn't mean I can't work HIIT intervals into a strength training workout, but I would do it as follows. I would say push-ups, squats, jump rope for 30 seconds and work it in that way, okay? So these are the exercises that I'm going to be referring to, these types of exercises. And in case you feel like I didn't list something you can do, I will put a bunch of different ideas in my little comment section. Now then, moving forward, high intensity interval training is when you train really damn close to the maximum of your heart rate for short bursts of time and then recover at about 50% of that heart rate and go again. Again, the reason this is so effective is because when you put that much stress on your body, you demand so much of it physically, A, it requires a ton of energy, right? It burns a ton of calories, not just when you're doing it, but long after the workout's over. But B, it also says, hey, we better get fit fast because we're having all of this demand put upon us. We got to adapt to this stress. So it accelerates your results across the board with your athleticism and your aesthetics, how you look, okay? Not that we should be caring about that, but let's be honest, we do care about that. People care about that. So it's gonna make you look and feel great at a better pace. All right, now then, high intensity interval training. You might be thinking, well, I can't do it, I'm a beginner. Not true. So we're going to do it as follows. HIIT training, I like to work off of heart rate. It's just the most accurate. Most people should be doing it this way. You may know somebody who isn't, but ignore them, they're wrong. So you wanna work at around 95% of your maximum heart rate when you're at maximum work effort, right? When you're in a work interval. Now you can figure that out very simply. You subtract your age from 220, and that's your maximum heart rate, right? So mine's like 175, that's my max heart rate. And I do not wanna get above 175 beats a minute when I'm training in any way, shape, or form. With my HIIT training, I try to get to about that number, 17 to 18 beats a minute. And if I'm not there, I'm gonna push myself a little bit harder. Now, when I'm recovering, I wanna be at about 50% of that number, and then I go again. And of course, the more fit you are, the faster you're gonna recover. So I'm gonna get to that in a second because that has to do with the ratio of your interval, meaning how much work to how much recovery should you be doing. And that's based on fitness level, but heart rate will also determine that for you. How quickly you can recover is gonna show you how fit you are, right? All right, so Jillian is doing a HIIT workout, and Jillian wants to be going at about 175, 180 beats a minute when she is in full-blown work mode, and then she's gonna come down to half of that. She's gonna bring me, I'm speaking myself in the third person, I'm gonna bring my heart rate down to about 90, 100, and then go again, right? Okay, you don't always have to go to 50%. Sometimes I go to 65%, so I'll get to like 110, 120, and then go again. But I'm pretty fit, so it doesn't compromise my intensity to recover for a lesser period of time and to a lesser degree. Now then, okay, so we can figure out your heart rate. So 220 minus your age, that's your max, right? And you can use a heart rate monitor to figure this out. It's gonna say, whoa, you're at 170 beats, right? You can tell right away, that's awesome. Or an Apple Watch or any sort of device. If you don't have one, when you're done with that work interval, you take your pulse and count the beats for 6 seconds and multiply it by 10. So I know I want 17 beats in 6 seconds because that's 170 beats a minute. It's really, really easy and simple, all right? Now then, you might be thinking, well, wait a second, I'm not a super advanced athlete. Why should I be working out at 175 beats a minute if I'm your age, Jill, but I'm not as fit as you? Because what it will take for a person who's less fit to get to that accelerated heart rate is going to be a lot less than a person who's more fit. For example, pick a great athlete. Let's say Tom Brady. He's 43 years old, right? So he is going to be somewhere around 180 beats a minute. Now, another person who's 43 is likely not as fit as Tom Brady, and they're going, why am I working out at the same heart rate? Well, for us to get Tom Brady to 180 beats a minute, we would probably have to have this guy sprinting at 12 miles an hour at a 5-degree incline. You know what I mean? He's crazy fit. Whereas we could take a typical 43-year-old and put them at 9 miles an hour at a 3 incline, and they would get to the same heart rate. So the level of athleticism will determine how much is required of you intensity-wise, okay? Next, the ratio is something you should determine off the bat. And I look at it as follows. If you're really fit, I like a 2-to-1 work to rest ratio. Meaning, if we do 20 seconds on, we'll do 10 seconds off, right? So 20 seconds of work, 10 seconds of recovery, that's half the time. 30 seconds of work, 15 seconds of recovery. If you're an intermediate level athlete, I like a 1-to-1. So 30 seconds of work, 30 seconds of recovery, 20 seconds of work, 20 seconds of recovery. And if you're a beginner, we reverse it and we do 1-to-2. So let's say 20 seconds of work, 40 seconds of recovery. And you'll notice that your heart rate will also dictate this because it's going to take longer for you to get that heart rate back down before you go again. But that's just a really good rule of thumb. And as you advance and you get more fit, your ratios will start to shift from that 1 work, 2 recover, all the way to 2 work, 1 recover. So that's another great rule of thumb. Here are some really classic mistakes I see people making when it comes to HIIT training. Number one, they have intervals that are just way too long because the idea is we're trying to go bananas, right? All out, balls to the wall, crazy, push the body. Can't do that some people can for a minute, but when you start getting into 2 minutes, this is not high intensity interval training. So I personally do not like an intensity interval. 45 seconds is my absolute max, and that's an extreme athlete. Would I even push that far? And even still, when you look at Tabata protocol, it was created for Olympians, and the intervals were 20-10. Mind you, it was only 4 minutes, but nevertheless. So honestly, I don't like an interval over 30 seconds. 45 would be my max, and nothing under 20. That's kind of my rule of thumb. We can do sprints for 60 seconds on and then recover, but it is not traditional high intensity interval training in my personal opinion, right? Because those shorter bursts allow for greater intensity workouts. Now, another mistake I see is people train for too long. So remember that your intensity has an inverse relationship with your duration of exercise. So you want to go out and you want to go hiking, you can hike for 4 hours. You want to do a high intensity workout, that should not be longer than 30 minutes tops. And that's connected to the next mistake, which is you're not warming up and you're not cooling down. So 30 minutes, that includes a warm up and a cool down, which means I really don't want 20 minutes, more than 20 minutes of super high intensity work. So if you're doing 5-minute, nice, slow, steady state cardio warm up, or some dynamic stretching for your warm up, 3 to 5 minutes, right? And then I want that cool down, 3 to 5 minutes. I don't want more than 20 minutes of gonzo work. I don't want it. It's too much. So the workout shouldn't be longer than 30 minutes. The intervals really shouldn't be longer than 30 seconds. Make sure that you're tracking your heart rate and that you are in fact getting to at least 90% of your maximum. So if I'm going bananas on that treadmill, but when I check my heart rate, I'm at 150 beats a minute, I am not working hard enough. I need to go a little faster. I need to kick up the incline. And remember, these workouts are designed to get you results fast. They're not easy, they are hard, but they are extremely, extremely effective, so they pay off quick.